Welcome back to Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with a quick question. I'm posing the question of who makes the best masterpiece Transformers, Takara or Hasbro? So I want to start out with talking about the Dinobots. Now, originally we had Grimlock here who came out with Hasbro, and if you see that Fans Toys one upped it with Sora, and then again one upped it with the Scoria, and of course they came out with Slag and Sludge or whatever right behind that, so you can get all the Dinobots together, and then of course Grinder, which is a bigger version of this Grimlock, and made a lot of improvements, size, and then fixed the problems with the legs and the feet, hid the kibble, hid the back tail inside of the legs, and did a better job with it. I mean, if you look at it from a distance, they look the same. If you look at them close, Grinder fixed almost every problem that anybody had with Grimlock and the Masterpiece size. So, Fans Toys, are they better? I mean, they're really showing an awesome showing right now. So, what has Takara done to make some mistakes? I mean, starting with this Hot Rod Rodimus here was very flimsy, broke extremely easily in both the Takara and the Hasbro releases. Those Hot Rod Rodimus Primes were very fragile. I have that guy in the box, and I'm almost scared to display it. I'm putting together a movie themed shelf, especially with Coot coming out and a few others that I've gotten in. I've gotten in the Allen for the Springer. I have an oversized RC. I think I could put a really nice shelf together, and I'm scared to take him out. Instead, I put this hot rod on there, and this hot rod is a little bit undersized for Coot, and this hot rod plays a big pivotal role in what you're about to see with this debate here. Now, I have to admit that Soundwave is probably my favorite of all of the Takara releases. Takara, Hasbro. I got this as the Toys R Us version. Of course, the Toys R Us version was better because it came with all 5 tapes. The color scheme is great. I think that he looks just right. He's spot on. Uh, Again, I think Hasbro has a problem with the calves. If you look at the calves, the legs, the lower legs on most of these bigger bots, such as Soundwave, they're just too big. I don't know if they can engineer it better. That's my number one complaint. Just look at the chunkiness in that on MP10. MP10 has just too big of calves. In fact, my story on that is I came across 2 of them at a Toys R Us, and they were $100 each at the time when they were releasing the MP10, and I passed on them because I thought I'd get them for a buy one get one half off sale and get them for 75 each. And had I not been turned off by the clunkiness of the calves and just thought my MPO1 fit the bill even better, then I would have bought them then and there. And then I spent probably the next 6 or 8 months trying to track down one for a decent price because they just went through the roof. You know, it's one of those Toys R Us raise the price things. Next, I really want to talk about the Fans Toys Carbots versus Takara Carbots. So if you look at the aesthetic of these, the Wheeljack, I really liked them. But then you really look what they did with Hound. And I just would like to challenge Takara to make a better Hound than Fans Toys. Fans Toys Willis is a great Hound. I just can't see, looking at the engineering behind Wheeljack, who looks good, and the Willis, who looks great, and then of course the Bugbot, who I think Fans Toys just really killed it with all their Bugbots. They're the best. They're better than Bad Cubes, and I think Make Toys hadn't made one, and there was a third. There are 4 options for Bugbots, and Fans Toys obviously wins the best. If you don't believe me, just look at them on eBay because eBay will tell you the truth on the pricing there. Look at their sold completed listings. Anyone who's watched any of my Transformer videos on the Titanium Hangar, you'll notice that I don't really think that Carbots fit a masterpiece shelf. I think they're like kind of a cool side piece, but I don't think they're the real deal, and I don't think they're the main show, and I don't think they're what I'm after. I'm these guys here. Ironhide changed my mind on Carbots because he was, in my opinion, in scale. And nowadays, I mean, we're taking MP10 as our measurement for scale. And when you look at Ironhide being a head and a half shorter than Optimus Prime, I can live with that. Tesla's the same way. I thought Tesla was going to be another Carbot size until I saw him in person and said, wow, I like that. when I went to pick them up, I actually bought the KFC transistor, which was what I was after. And this guy was grouped in a deal with probably about 6 different figures I got for a really good price. And I said, what the heck? I'm never going to buy them for 130 bucks off of eBay or one of those sites. So let me give it a shot. And I really am pleased with the fact I picked him up. And he really fits the bill of a masterpiece for me. So Fans Toys wins. Takara really surprised me with this guy. But in the end, there's always a but. What's up with these side skirts? You can do fixes to take these side skirts off, but why should we have to? It should come ready to go. I mean, I don't really see Tesla having a side skirt. He's clean. Tesla's clean in the back. I don't get it. So, Fans Toys is winning. Win, 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 Fans Toys. So, one of the first nails in Takara's coffin for being the top dog in their own field, they own Masterpiece Transformers. But yet, I ordered this Cloud 9 version of Quake Blast, which is a redesign of Quake Wave, and I do not like Quake Wave. A lot of my collector buddies showed me Quake Wave and were proud of Quake Wave and said, "Oh, look how awesome this figure is," and I flat out told them I didn't like it. I just thought it was too blocky. Didn't really fit the aesthetic of the cartoon. I didn't like the color of it. There's a whole lot of things that go along with that. And so I bought this Cloud9 even after I pre-ordered this guy. I was waiting for him, and I canceled this guy at 160 and bought him when he went on sale for 100 because I knew that there's too much competition in town. The thing is that if Takara is fighting with competition with third parties, Takara's in trouble. Now, Takara should have the ability to do what they did with the MP36 and the Megatron, put out a Megatron and make every other Megatron on the market worthless. They did that. How many more figures can they do that with? I'm thinking not that many. I'm got my MP36 coming in the mail. I'm going to keep my Apollyon, but it's going to replace it in the display. But this is the first nail in the coffin, in the chink in the armor of this kink, whatever, in old Takara's awesome reign of Masterpiece Transformers. So the next thing I want to point out is how Fans Toys and Takara, they do not step on each other's feet very often. So it's almost like they're in cahoots with each other, almost as if they are communicating with each other who's going to make what figure. And there's a couple of reasons why. So number one, they made... So we've got this Grimlock. It was out in 2008. And they made, or 9, or something along those lines, whatever. And they made him. But it took a good 7 or 8 years later until Fans Toys actually made their version of him. And obviously, Takara made their money on that mold and pumped that mold out. And waited till that mold was even getting knocked off to the highest degree. And you know what? It makes me start to wonder. I know at FT03, which is Quake Wave, FT04, FT05, and all of them. And let's go down that list real quick, because you think about it. FT04 is Scoria, 05 is Soar, 6 is Sever, 7 is Stomp, 8 is Grinder, so we finish up the Dinobots. You've got Tesla at 9, Phoenix at 10, and some of these things don't make sense because they're so far out of order. But if you go down that list, what are you missing there? You're missing FT01 and FT02. FT02, for sure, was supposed to be this guy. So what happened? I don't know what happened. My belief is that Hasbro or Takara got it out quicker, got it out better, and Fans Toys canceled the project. But I actually think it was more of a stepping aside, and we'll see the FT02 down the road as a one-up. But that's a possibility. But what was FT01? What would FT01 actually end up being? I mean, I'm thinking FT01 was their take on Optimus Prime. And I think that somebody, Takara, Hasbro, persuaded Fans Toys to step aside. Now, I truly believe that we're gonna get a blaster. I truly believe we're gonna get an Optimus Prime 3.0 coming from Takara, and that's gonna happen. But let me tell you how Fans Toys is filling a gap that we don't have. Fans Toys is coming out with some amazing figures like RC Coot. We've got the Ultra Magnus, not the Ultra Magnus, but the Omega Supreme. And I think that the timing is just amazing because it seems like we're 3 years out from an Omega Supreme coming from the Hasbro line, and an Omega Supreme on the same size but the lower quality level than what you're going to put out for 150 and eventually clearance out for 100. And if you wait and you don't buy the Fans Toys version or the DX9 version, you can always get the cheap version coming from Hasbro or Takara. And that would happen with the Omega Supreme. And the Omega Supreme would be easier to transform, more play features coming from them, and that's probably coming in the Titan series in a few years. So, one of the things that you see is that uh, I really think that the Shockwave they put out was the superior Shockwave on the market. A little bit small, color was off, lightweight, blah blah blah. I'm happy with my Shock Blast, so I didn't open my Shockwave. I watched the reviews and all that, but here is the deciding factor between Hasbro or Takara and Fans Toys, and that is going to be Hot Rod. And I, in all my years, have never seen a pre-order for a third party sell out on all retailers across the board. Fans Toys Hoodlum has sold out. That is impressive for multiple reasons. It's impressive because you have multiple options. You have this guy here that you can get for pretty cheap if you get a used one that's a little bit dented and dinged on eBay. You can get this guy here, you can get this guy here knocked off, you can get for cheap, and yet people are still gonna pay $80 to $100 for Hoodlum because Fans Toys does that good of work. They want some weight behind their figure. They want it to match their Coot. The Coot is amazing, and here we are at a pivotal moment where Fans Toys is taking over all of the Masterpiece. And the thing is that other Masterpiece third party companies are actually able to make their one stab at it. They put all their efforts. KFC has thrown their hat in the ring with the transistor. They're doing well, but of course, Takara can still stomp that out. You've also got the other companies out there like X Transbot who's throwing their hat in the ring. They're making some of the movie bad guys. So as the Eligos, and you've got the Andreas, which are Cyclonus and Scourge. And so you have some other ones out there, so there are more options going on. But right now, Fans Toys owns it. Fans Toys dominates it. Many Toys is making their headmasters, which are the by far the best because of the size and the aesthetic and everything that goes along with that. So right now, I think Fans Toys is winning. And I think Fans Toys can write their own ticket from this point out. But on the flip side, are they really in cahoots with Takara Tomy? Are they in cahoots with the Hasbro? Are they trying not to step on each other's feet? Are they waiting long enough between releases so that they can each make their own money and not step on each other's feet? We'll find out. And future releases with Fans Toys, and we'll also find out future releases Takara. But my predictions stand that Fans Toys is going to win and reign supreme, except X Transbot will win the Springer Wars. Tiberium Hanger out.